Mr. Brown was answering questions from the chairman shortly after arriving at the World Economic Forum for world leaders and businessmen involved in trade.
I think we should be less protectionist in our attitude to that and to other aspects of the world economy at the moment. And I think the challenge for us over the next few months is to show that we can actually make the world trade talks work, to move the world economy forward, and to make sure that the protectionist sentiment that undoubtedly is a reaction to people's insecurity can be avoided. So getting monetary and fiscal policy right, far greater transparency both now and for the future, so that people understand risks better, and making sure that we don't resort to protectionism. I think that is a message that all of us should learn.
And the Prime Minister wants a new agency to cope with emergencies.
We need to combine humanitarian aid, peacekeeping, reconstruction and development. And we need a civilian and military standby agency, a rapid response agency, where countries are in difficulty, then we can actually act immediately. And you don't just send in peacekeepers and armed forces, you send in the police and the lawyers and those people who can help rebuild civil society. And if the world can't come to terms with that, then the suffering that has existed in countries from Rwanda to Bosnia that went on for years without action will be repeated again and again.
On poverty and climate control, he saw a new role for the World Bank.
I can't see why we should not move immediately to the World Bank becoming a World Bank for the environment as well as development. We need a global carbon market. We need a new climate change agreement. If we're to wake up to these problems, we've got to make these big changes also. But we need an institution that is global, that can provide funds for developing countries that want to introduce alternative sources of energy and want to move to greater energy efficiency, and will not do so and will simply build coal-fired power stations or whatever unless they have an institution that is able to loan or give grants or at least help them make alternative sources of energy work. So I would say that if in the next year we don't make progress on a World Bank for environment as well as development, not at the expense of poverty alleviation, but because climate change hits the poorest countries most, then we will be failing in our duty.
To suggest to provide sufficient